Hey guys, what's going on? Haven't made a video in quite a while, I think, but I've just been busy, busier than I'd like to be with, school and work and that kind of stuff, but I got something done that I think looks really nice, so I thought I'd make a video. There's some other stuff. I'm working on like 5 other blasters right now, 3 of which are done, and then the other one's almost done. I'll just show you really quick, almost done. And then there's another one that I haven't even started because I'm looking for the parts. It's like a rare thing. Anyway, so we'll go over the little stuff that the guy's getting first. This is going to Singapore. Going to a friend of mine in Singapore. He's a nice guy. So I included one of these. This is my prototype long shot plunger rods. No one has one of these except for me, and he's going to have one too. And it's just lathed polycarb back thing, catch face, and plunger head with a X-ring. I don't know if you know what that is, but you see the bump right there? So that's on the inside and out, so if I was to, cut this in half, it'd look like a X. That's why it's called an X-ring. So this seals on 2 surfaces, opposed to sealing on one, like a normal O-ring. And it has, like, almost no friction in a long shot plunger tube. It can just, like, drop in almost all the way down. But yet it has a perfect seal. Like, I can't pull it out. Oh, yes I can. Okay. So, that sounded like a good seal to me. And then I'll do it on the way in, and I can't really get it too straight, but it starts to seal once I start to get it straight, so I'm pushing as hard as I can right now, and yeah, so I'll show you the air coming out. You probably heard that. Little weight comparison. So I can't really balance this because of the screw, but I'll try. So I'm going to try to not touch it. So it's about 34.7 grams. Artifact plunger head. Or no, we'll do heavier ones too. So 34.7 for me. For Remedy Metal, it's 111.3. And for a Taobao aluminum plunger rod that's been modified to be lighter, it's 49.28 grams. So mine's the lightest out of the 3, but the Artifact does beat mine. It's even lighter, which and that's at 24.26 grams. But I believe mine might be a little stronger. The aluminum is great. I absolutely love this. I just think mine might be stronger in this section because it's polycarb, and then the joint here. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it is or not. I don't know. I do really like this though, anyways. But it doesn't really seal like at all, which bothered me. Like, why do I have to put E-tape under it? That's weird. Anyways. Oh, I'm giving them this rod too first possible, but you don't need to see that. And then I've had this for a long time. It's too fat to fit in even thin wall PVC to use as a barrel. But I just made this section smaller, and then now it fits in really good. Oh, wrong end. That end chamfered. And it's actually kind of airtight, like if you can hear that. That's all the fiddly bits. I like saying that word, fiddly bits. Now to the blaster. So it's painted red. I'll show you the can really quick. Or let me get it, hold on. So here it is. It's Rust-Oleum. What's it called? Oh, that's in French. Paint plus primer, doesn't say the color. Oh, satin poppy red. Oh, very nice. And it says new, and I like it a lot. Base coat was this stuff. Matte white primer. For the wood, I used that. And then, actually, I used some vinyl dye, which seemed to stick pretty good. I used some red vinyl dye as a primer on the plastic. So red vinyl dye only here, and then normal primer for that, then a coat of this, and then the coat of that stuff. And then I used a new clear coat. Let me get that too. So I used this Duplicolor wheel cover, and it's like way, way better than any other clear coat I've ever used. It's nice. It totally blows this shit out of the water. This is terrible. It fogs like every time. It comes out of the can foggy. It's basically not good for anything. Yeah, just sucks. That's my little rant about them. And now, let's go over the blaster. So this is wood, even though it kind of looks like plastic. I don't even know if you can tell if this is wood or not. It looks like plastic because I did something special to the wood. I used this stuff. It's Tamiya putty. So you sand it as best you can, and then you just coat it in Tamiya putty, and then sand it again, and it's like plastic. And then you sand it, and then paint it, and then sand it, and then paint it again, which makes it look very nice. Then painted bushing, painted whatever, spring loaded trigger, and then new spring rest, kind of like how Aramek does his, but mine's clear and with Schedule 80, and I screwed it in. And then normal plunger head, with the skirt seal, padded bushing, which is nice, omnidirectional catch, polished plates as best I can, and polished catch there, rainbow catch. And then I updated the priming mech, so instead of having two bolts that pull on a disc, well, it's still the same, but instead of pulling on the disc and then having two pressure points where the bolts are on the disc, and I think that kind of messes with the bolt a little bit, I put a little disc or a ring of Schedule 40 clear PVC, and then drilled holes in it, so these go into the PVC. They don't touch the ring, so this goes into the PVC, and then I think the PVC, I just burped. The PVC distributes the force of the spring more evenly on the disc, which is nice. This was asked to be signed, which I was very flattered by. And there's my messy signature on the bottom. I should probably go over it again. I don't know if I can actually, but it's just faded from me working on it a little bit. But it's darker in person. I'll try and go over it. If I mess it up, though, that's going to suck. I'll do my best. But I'll put some more clear coat on it so it stays forever. It doesn't fade anymore. Because there's 3 layers on it now. I don't know how it must have faded. I think it's just faded because it's on camera. But yeah, anyways. Polycarbonate on the back. I like that. Opposed to just the elbow. I like the T with the cut. Looks better to me. That's pretty much it. I'm going to shoot it a few times. Now, it's too dark outside to shoot. You won't see anything. But I'll do the seal test and the shooting in here, in my cave. Okay. Alright, so I haven't gooped the screws yet, just because I was fussing with the bushing a little bit. So the seal's not really that good. But it's like good enough. But I want to make it better before I send it out, if I can. So here's the seal. So it moves. It's probably like 75% maybe, which is definitely good enough to fire, but it's not, I just don't like sending that out. So I'll be tweaking that, don't worry. And then now we'll fire a bit. I'll just shoot some slugs out of a hopper, and we'll need to talk about that a little bit first. So hopefully you'll be able to see me. I'm pretty sure you can. I've done this before. I just got some slugs in here. Oh, one fell in the barrel. Vacuum loaded a little bit. I'm going to have to fix that. Hold on. Oh, no, came out. Okay, we're good. Shoot that upside down so it doesn't double feed. Nice, good, perfect. So, I think it did double feed. Yeah, it did double feed. Let me clear this. So the seal's good enough to vacuum load, so that's cool. Okay, so it's all good now. And I'll do a few slow ones and then some rapid fire ones. It's nice and smooth. This one's a little smoother than normal. I don't know why. I want to know why, because then I want to repeat this, because I don't know, it's just a little smoother. I don't know. We'll fire the last, I think there's 3. Yeah, I'll fire the last 3 fast. So that's pretty fast. Pretty good. Now, one thing I want to talk about, hoppers, as far as I know, as far as, my experience, don't fire silicone domes, ACC darts, stuff like that. If you want to fire pre-made darts, the only darts that I know of that feed are FVJs or FBNs, if you want to use a normal hopper. I would highly, highly recommend a 3D printed Y if you can get one, if you want to shoot ACCs and darts like that, because if you're just trying to run silicone domes through here of any kind, silly tips, and you're getting misfeeds, those misfeeds count as dry fires, and dry fires break your gun. Basically, it ruins the bushing. That's why I pad it, but they don't last forever, especially if you dry fire them. Dry firing will speed up the death of your gun, and I've never really talked about that before. I kind of just thought, maybe that's just common knowledge, like everyone knows hoppers don't feed silicone domes very well, and if yours does, I'm happy for you, great. Mine doesn't, but I'm just saying, I stand behind these blasters for breaking, but the conditions are you have to get the blaster to me, and it has to be because of a defect that's my fault. Dry firing and breaking your bushing, that's not my fault. I'll fix it if you send it to me, but I'm going to charge you for new bushing, stuff like that. But anyways, I think that's all I need to talk about with this. If you have some way that the darts that you like to use, if you have some way that to feed them in your hopper and that works for you, great. But just as far as I know, slugs and domes or glue domes are basically the only thing that fire reliably. Even FBJs and FBNs, they do to a point, but I still get misfeeds once in a while. And yeah, I think that's everything. There's gonna be I have quite a few videos lined up. If you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, I'll try and put out quite a few during reading week. And now I'll stand in front of the camera for this. This part of the video is basically only for the commissioner because this is getting sent disassembled. So I'm going to do kind of a reverse guide on how to put this together. I'm going to show him how to take it apart, and hopefully he can figure out how to put it together from me taking it apart. And I'll try and explain how to put it together as well. So if you're not interested in how to disassemble a rainbow, by all means click away, click exit, and if you are exiting now, hope you're all doing well, and thanks for watching. And for those of you who are sticking around, I'll see you again at the table in a second. Okay, so tools that you're going to need for a rainbow pump built by me: flathead, small Phillips, larger Phillips, green Robertson screwdriver. Now, first thing you're going to do is take off the pump. And that's going to be the last thing you do when you put it together. Next, unscrew your catch and your stock with the larger Phillips screwdriver. There's going to be 3 small screws in there that you need to use the small Phillips for. One thing I would like to mention is these 2 dots here. The PVC side with the dot on the prime goes on the side with the dot. These 2 dots can be removed, or the dot on the body goes on the dot with the prime PVC, if that makes any sense. They can be removed with alcohol if desired. Okay, so now that you've done that, I can show you how to assemble it. The first thing you're going to want to do is to screw on your handle through these top ports. The silver screws go into this, and the longer black screws go into the handle. That's it for that. When you screw it on, it's a good idea to use a little bit of hot glue or epoxy on these joints just to help it be a little bit more rigid. Next step is going to be to install your spring onto your rod, and make sure you keep this exact order that I set out for you, or else it might not work. So take it off and make sure you keep the exact same order. Don't flip anything, don't flip the catch, stuff like that. Install your spring, and then you're going to want to slide this in. And then it's easy to line up these pieces because, see, you just face the hole in the catch to the bottom where it's supposed to be, and then all the screw ports will line up and you can install the screws. And you do not want to over tighten these, just snug is fine. If you over tighten them, you can crack the clear PVC. I've done it before. Now, next step after that is going to be to install your trigger, your spring-loaded trigger. So what you're going to want to do, well, actually no. After you have your catch screws in here, you're going to need to take your catch spring and install that. And you just want to do that by installing it into the main hole there and screw in until it's tight. And then try and stick a screwdriver in the slot, pull back. If your plunger rod is catching on the screw, unscrew it a little bit until it's not catching, just until it's not catching. And if it's not catching, screw it in until you hear it rubbing or till it gets really tight, and then back it off like a quarter turn, and then that'll free up your plunger rod. Hopefully it's all good. And then now install your trigger. So you're gonna have to get this. I'm gonna need two hands to show you this. So you take this, take your spring, weave it onto the top of the little screw here, and then you're gonna need to install your screw in here, your little screw to hold the spring, and that goes into the catch, and then you can put that on. Before you do that, actually, sorry, I keep messing up steps. I've never explained this to anyone before. You're going to want to screw in your spring guide right there, and if you can't line up those two holes with those two holes in the plunger or body, don't worry about it. Just use those two holes to drill two new holes in that. It's no big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. And then install those two screws. Then install your spring-loaded trigger. Then you're pretty much done. You would just install your stock with some screws that are provided, of course. And then last step would be your pump, and that just slides on. Make sure the PVC priming mech is in the right position, and then use the large screws. Make sure not to strip these threads, they're very important. And it does not hurt at all to put some goop on these threads, or some thread lock tape and some goop, just to keep them in place. And you know, because the more you use this, the looser these threads will be, unfortunately, because that's plastic, and this will start to wobble a little bit. And that can be fixed with goop or thread lock tape, don't worry, or even epoxy, but then, you know, good luck getting it off. And I'm pretty sure that's it. And, you know, Commissioner, you know who you are. You know you're more than welcome to message me at any time on Facebook. You have my personal Facebook. That's no problem at all. I'm always happy to answer questions in chat. I think that's pretty much it. Anyone else that's still watching, you know, hope you enjoyed the disassembly of a rainbow pump. Might be kind of boring, but maybe you found it interesting. And hope you like the Blaster Man. You know, I almost don't want to give it to you. I really like how it turned out, the red. Of course I'm gonna give it to you, but you know, I'd like to keep it. Anyways, really long video. Oh, geez, almost 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go. Nice talking to you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you're all doing well, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.